Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Lions Den podcast. We are here on a Tuesday night, ready to talk about everything that happened in Jornada Uno of Liga MX as it's back and it's going to go really fast. But we're always going to try and keep up and make sure to keep you guys informed with all the Club Leon content in English. So, Carlos, Louis, we'll get having a bit. How are you guys feeling today?
It had been 4 seasons without winning in Jornada Uno. It had been four straight seasons without getting a win in Jornada Uno. So this it feels like a weight off, especially after all that uncertainty about the offseason. Didn't know what it was going to be like out of the gates. A lot of pessimism within the fan base about how it might start out. And obviously they can't answer all of our questions in one match. But it was a really nice start, and I feel like there's a lot to be excited about, if not hopeful for, going into this season. So just an emotional load off, a mental load off. Always nice to start out with a win in Jornada Uno, and we hadn't known what that felt like since the Clausura 2020, the season that got suspended after 10 matches. That was the last time we won in Jornada Uno, and that seems like an eternity ago.
Well, what seems more like an eternity is the last time we actually won a game, which was March of last season. So it's good to start off with the victory. 3 points. We're at the top of the table, which doesn't really mean much after one jornada. But considering our upcoming opponent, Pumas, who actually didn't have their best start either, I think we're in good shape. I think we started off good. We saw some flashes of good performances by a couple of players that we didn't expect to even see on the field, like Bellon. Fede Martinez showed up big time. I don't think any one of us here had in mind that he was going to have that type of game.
Nope. Or that he was going to kick that.
I mean, it was just an all-around good performance by everyone, and happy to be here to talk about this victory Monday.
Javi, ¿cómo estamos?
Muy bien. Very happy because, like Louis said, and what Carlos said too, it's been a while since we started off this way, and I think, it was the best way to finish that game because I was on the edge of my seat, and I just obviously always wanted to see these new players like Diorio and more like in action and see cómo funcionaban juntos. Obviously Byron, obviously Campbell coming back too on that right side. I wanted to see just, and then Alvarado also coming in. Interesting. Everything was pretty interesting. So yeah, just the way it happened, último minuto, it's like there's no better way to win, especially in San Luis.
Definitely. And you and Louis were present at the game. So we're going to go ahead and start with the pregame news, and then you guys can talk about how your experience was with the Jornada Uno making that trip there. Carlos, are you ready?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Pre-game news. Elias Hernandez, Avion Ramirez, and last-minute change to the roster. Angel Mena was left out due to an injury. Doesn't seem like it's that serious. And it looks like, from what I've heard, it looks like he'll be back next Saturday against Pumas. But it's something that we thought would really affect us. It didn't because we got the win. And some of the guys that stepped in his position had a really good game. They played really well. But that was the latest news prior to game time. Starting lineup, very interesting starting lineup. I think caught a few of us by surprise. Rodolfo Cota, Byron Castillo, Barreiro, Tecillo, who sadly had to leave early in the game. We'll get to that in a minute. Osby, Jefecito, Jairo, who had to play outside of his usual position. Campbell, Fede Martinez, huge game. Davila and Diorio, I think, was the big surprise here. What do we think? What do we think about the starting lineup?
Yeah, it was. I was telling Louis, like, is Jairo gonna play the contención? Like, what's interesting, right? And also before the game, he had mentioned about what you had said about los que no iban a jugar hoy, and we were like, who's gonna be on the right? And we were just kind of saying like, Campbell, and I said something about Platano too, because I thought it would be interesting to see him on that right side too. Yeah, a lot of things that I wasn't expecting, but I personally don't like Yaito playing there, and I think in the beginning, I don't think he understood las indicaciones del entrenador, because I remember I was telling him, look, dude, like Paiva's like really like letting him, like giving him a lot of indicaciones, and he was doing like that, which is como reparte más juego. I guess he didn't want to go too much in front. But I think he's just very dangerous when he goes up in front. So I don't know. That was interesting about the lineup for me.
Yeah, that was obviously the biggest surprise. I was concerned about who would play right wing with both Elias and Mena out. Like, basically, I said our only option there is Campbell, even though he's more naturally a left side player. But that's what they went with, and I thought he did admirably. That's not his best sector of the field, but I thought he did okay. Not to mention his return to León under, I don't know, less than enthusiastic circumstances, I guess we could say, on everyone's part, on his part, on the fans' part. Like that whole debate about, obviously we got more information that the Lo de Colombato was the player asking out because of this offer that he had, and not really the directiva deciding between those two guys, because if we were deciding between those two guys, it wasn't really a decision. So I feel like Campbell coming back and starting, playing not out of position, but not in his best position necessarily, and holding down the fort admirably. He did have a couple of moments. I remember
Louis,
Javi, you and I were watching one of his plays. He was right in front of us on the side of the field where we were sitting, and he just dribbled and dribbled and dribbled, and he was dribbling and dribbling and dribbling and dribbling, looking great, and then he just lost the ball.
And Louis had,
and I was like,
Louis lost it.
I was like, oh, Campbell, nothing has changed. Like that is him in a nutshell. He shows all this skill, and it amounts to absolutely nothing, because, I mean, they get to him before he can finish the play. So, but aside from that, I thought he held down the right wing position, which is not really, again, not really his position, but he held it down pretty well. And if he has to do that again for a couple more matches, or assuming Mena is coming back, like Carlos said, hopefully he won't have to. But if he has to hold down that position at any point in the season, I'd be okay with him doing that. And Jairo in the contención, I would like to think that if Fidel Ambriz is match fit and ready and completely having trained with the squad completely, that he would be in that position instead.
Yeah.
I don't think that's Jairo's best position. Maybe thinking, Jairo switched positions once before. He came here as a left winger, and then was transformed into a left back, one of the best left backs in the league. So maybe that flexibility is what made Paiva try him out in that contención, because we don't really have much depth there right now. But I would think that hopefully Fidel Ambriz, who did come in and play kind of an up and down stretch as a sub at the end of the game. I didn't think he was sharp.
20 minutes.
He was not that sharp. But I would think that as he grows with this team more, that he would be in that spot, leaving Jairo to play on somewhere on the left side, whether it's as a fullback, which I would kind of be okay with. I don't think Osvi struggled with Vinicius there at the end. Sorry, his name is Vitinho, but at the stadium, everybody was calling him
everybody
Vinicius.
kept calling Vinicius.
Yeah.
No, it was hilarious. I just couldn't stop laughing because
San Luis is.
Oh, this is the Brazilian guy. That's
yeah.
Vinicius, and every time he didn't make a good play.
San Luis's big splash signing on the right wing, Vitinho, who came in, and I thought he was way more than Murillo, because we can talk about how good, as you mentioned. Changed. As you mentioned in the chat, Carlos, what they had said to Byron about sticking on him like flies on you know what, and so I thought Murillo was held pretty much in check, but then when Vitinho came in on the right wing as a sub, he gave us all kinds of problems. So I wouldn't mind seeing what someone like Jairo could have done on him, as opposed to Osvi, who's never going to be my favorite. I'm sorry, he's never going to be my favorite. I didn't think he had a particularly good game. Either.
Struggled.
I mean, he would of the ones who started, I would give him probably the lowest score.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think he had a good game. He had a decent shot on Barovero it was right on target, and Barovero blocked that shot. I thought that was
offensively, maybe the offensive eye test, maybe, but he was. Vitinho's getting the better of him on every time down for San Luis.
He was very dangerous for sure, and
whereas Murillo, Murillo's not getting the best of Byron. Yeah, Murillo's not getting the best of Byron really all game.
Well, Byron is playing on a different. He's his speedometer is like redlining. He's playing way different. He's much faster than Osby. He's in much better shape. This guy looks like he should be playing in Europe, Byron, because of how fast he is, how agile he is. I don't know. I don't like that
And
comparison.
I think
between Osby
that's a
and
good
Byron.
that's a good analysis because I think he was playing a little muy, like I think he's tiene que acoplar un poco because remember Louis, there was a play where it looked like they were doing it good, but he kind of just ran real quick and then the play was lost. No se entendieron obviamente, pero I think it's like I'm pretty sure he wants to play triangular, más jugar más rápido. Y solamente es que se adapten los jugadores a ese estilo because he is coming in a lot of players too. Diorio, I think he did a lot. There's the guys next to me in San Luis were like, "Who is this guy? Where did he come from?" They thought he was like the star signing, and we're like, "Well, he just came from." Also, Fede Martinez cuando metió el golazo. Wow, did you guys just sign him? And Louis like, "No, he just had a really bad season." But it looks
Wait,
like
people were asking you guys this?
Well, me. I talk to everyone. I got
Yeah.
friendly skills. I just talk to people all over the world.
Javi was talking to a couple of guys in the seats next to us who I don't think they were even really San Luis fans. They just happened to, they were from elsewhere
Very
in the state.
knowledgeable.
They were from elsewhere in the state and they happened to be in town, so they came to the
Huasteca
game. So they were asking questions about Leon. But I mean, he may
was
as
a
well be a
friendly-
refuerzo. He may
Yeah.
as well be a refuerzo because he did absolutely nothing last season in
Yeah.
his first season. So he still has everything to prove. In that sense, he's basically in the same situation as the actual refuerzos and the reincorporaciones, because a lot of people aren't willing to consider guys like Campbell and Jairo real refuerzos because they were already on the team. I mean, for me, a refuerzo is anybody who wasn't on the team last season and is now. Yeah. So I still consider those guys refuerzos. But
did Fede win you guys over with that goal?
Yeah. Because I was,
I mean,
do you remember, Louis? I told you, ¿quién le va a pegar? And I was like, I think it's going to be Jairo. And you're like, no, he's going to just.
Okay, we did talk about it last podcast about Fede, and I said you guys need to give him the benefit of the doubt this season because their first season at Leon is really hard for a player to actually be.
But it was
fantastic.
I don't think it was his stats that we were questioning. I think him.
I was questioning
his lungs out at Armando Leon. Was on television. It was caught on television,
and that looked bad on the team. And the really even the people in Leon just have this thing against them. And even me, I thought like that could be un problema de vestidor. But look, you saw cuando metió el gol and how already just came, and it was like, there you go. That's all I need to see to know that tiene las pilas puestas, and he wants to also prove. And I said, que me calle la boca, because I want him to score. I want him to score like 20 goals if he wants. Pero eso que le pegó él, that's interesting too, because I was like, who's gonna hit? I kept thinking it was gonna be Jairo, or I didn't think it was gonna be Fede. Y le pegó muy bien, le pegó muy bien. Yes, la barrera estaba, with a little open, but still, that's where he wanted to put it, and that's exactly where he. Boravero couldn't reach that. Yeah.
Boravero did have an impact on the game.
But
all in all.
Yeah. Well, look, the question with him was always, as we were saying, attitude related more than anything. And look, a goal like that can go a long way to curing any sort of extra cancha matters and winning above all, even more than a goal. So a goal like that leads directly to a big win. I mean, these things these are things that they can build on and that he can build on. And I mean, he hasn't completely won me over yet because it was just one moment in one game.
So hard, man.
No, it was.
Look at poor Osby. He's been trying and trying. Campbell too. I feel.
Osby's another
he came back to Leon just because I want to prove it to Luis.
No. But
I talked to him.
Osby, within all of my criticism of him, has had some amazing
We've given
individual
him good
moments,
and we give him.
He has had some individual amazing moments, and even so, he hasn't won me over. So it's going to take more than this one moment from Fede to win me over. But boy, howdy, is it a good start. It's a great start for him to a season where he basically needs to show out, or he probably will not be back with the team and might not get another opportunity in a place that's going to keep him on the radar of the Selección Uruguaya. He basically, there's a lot on the line for him this season. Like, Uruguay is in the World Cup, are they not?
Yes.
So, like, I mean, you gotta think for him, like, what that means for him is surely people from the Selección Uruguaya saw that goal of his, and he's already kind of on the margins on the spectrum. He's
And
already played a few
26,
matches.
right? They're going to allow 26 squads. I mean, players to be on the squad.
Right.
So
I think he was in a couple of squads. I don't think he saw too many minutes, but he was already in a couple of squads during the qualifying. So like he's definitely on the fringes, and he wants to have a good season. He really, really wants to have a good season. And I don't think it's like Mena where he knows he's in the team. Mena knows he's in the team, so he might just want to make sure he doesn't get hurt. Fede's not going to be in that situation.
Say the same thing about Jordi Campbell, though. About he knows he's in the team.
Yeah,
he's the star. So maybe we won't get his full potential.
Yeah, we had this discussion in our last episode.
Yes,
where I think both Campbell and Mena, like if they're healthy, they're in the team and they're starters for their national team. But Fede, he's definitely on the spectrum. He's definitely in la mira of the selección, but he's not guaranteed absolutely anything. This is what I was saying about Colombato too. It's a shame because now like he's registered as a player, but he's not going to play obviously. And now like who knows what's in the future for him. But Fede is definitely
still training in León. But
he's still training.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of holding out hope that maybe the Boavista thing falls through, and we can get him back. I don't know if maybe the relationship is now at this point too damaged with him for him to really.
I'm gonna talk to him, Louis. I'm gonna convince him. I promise.
But I mean, he's still in.
No, actually, he's not even playing.
You'd think even if he can't officially be registered for his new team yet, that he'd already be over there, like getting acclimated. But he's not. So that's very strange.
Very strange situation.
It's not worth more than a brief mention because he's obviously not part of the plans for Club León right now.
But just to compare him, meet him and I record him. Can you give a shout out to the Lions Den podcast? No, one of my greatest friends from when I used to work in TV Azteca Bajío and Apa Nochecita, Banano. He's actually like his personal que le corta el pelo.
Barber?
Wow.
Yeah, and he's posting all these videos. He's with them, lo está entrenando. That's how I'm like, oh damn. Hey bro, you think I can meet him?
Go get it. Yeah, go get a shout out, bro.
Dijo, Simón mi rey. Simón Rey. Se me dijo. All right. He's a good friend. So I'm going to try to be like, hey man, stay in León, bro. Just stay. And give a shout out.
Get a shout out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he must know some English, right? He played in Belgium.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
I'll just come with mate, bro. I'll be like, boludo, no te vayas.
Maybe he only got by. I assume he knows Italian. He played in Italy too.
Yes,
like when he was like a youth player.
All right, I'll take my homie. He speaks Italian over here too.
But the point is, the point is, Fede like knows that he's got to have a great season if he wants to be in Uruguay's plans, and I think León can really reap the benefits from that. I mean, if this moment in this match, I mean, it wasn't just that moment. I thought he had a pretty good shift. He had a pretty solid shift in general overall. Like, if León can reap the benefits from that kind of season from him, if he can do more of the same going forward, I mean, we're in really, really good shape, I would say.
Yeah, I think the pessimism going into this match was all due because of the 5-2 match that we lost against America.
Exactly.
And I think that looking back at the game, I feel like America, they wanted to win, so they treated it as like a Liguilla type of match because they had previously lost, I think it was like 3-0 against Pumas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what an embarrassment to their
It's propaganda,
to
bro. It's just to say, El América, mira cómo goleó. And then start promocionándolo.
Exactly.
And then, we're going to be campeones. And then...
Yeah, like I said at the time, it was not a fun watch, but we can't read too much.
We couldn't really take anything.
But look,
that was the Tour Águila. Like it was called the Tour Águila. The game they played was part of the Tour Águila. It was just America versus opponent. Like that was
good though that this happened because I remember watching ESPN Fútbol Picante like that whole week, and everybody was saying Mario Carrillo dijo que León va a quedar último en la tabla, and none of those people said that they were going to win.
They never will though. That's the thing. They never will. I think.
Yeah,
all in all.
So I mean, we can't really ever be concerned about what people like that are saying about us.
No, because we know it's never going to go our way.
What I'm saying is, mira como un partido de pretemporada could really, even for whatever reason, in the world of sports journalism, could just. And I think if you're not really como poniendo atención en el equipazo, we pay attention to León, so we were like, it doesn't really mean anything. But it's interesting how these people, I feel like they are professionals, but it's like, how are you going to just say based, like, I don't know. I thought that was so weird to say they were all unanimously saying León va a perder and va a tener una mala temporada.
Look at it this way: if before that friendly they had told us you're going to get blown out in embarrassing fashion in this friendly, but you're going to win Jornada Uno, and America's going to draw 0-0 with Atlas, I think we would have taken that.
Yes.
No.
Yes. There you go.
I think we would have taken that every day of the week and twice on Sundays. You know,
this game with San Luis, I mean, it wasn't as easy. I mean, we saw a lot of give and go on both sides. Obviously, at the beginning, we had a possibility of Fiora opening up the scoreboard. That didn't happen. Then, obviously, with the CEO being down, we were all like worried, like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Obviously, we had our Mexican Frances who subbed in, and
he's French.
Ended up.
Well, his last name is kind of French, yeah.
He's half.
Oh,
yeah, he's Mexican and Frances. Yeah, he's half.
I think he did really good. I was telling him.
Yeah, cumplió.
Yes,
I think
he's the only one who made the best once for the Jornada in Liga MX, which I thought was we don't need to read into those kind of. A lot of the times those things like don't mean anything. Well, they never mean anything. But I thought it was a nice shout out for a fine performance, especially him coming on as a sub and still getting that.
Yeah,
coming on as a sub.
Louis knows it's his debut.
It's his debut.
On his debut, yeah.
And he's not covering any players. He's not substituting. But Louis knows that I'm kind of blind. Like I just he knows that I can't see. But I recognize players by their movement. I just know that's Chapo. I just recognize how they move. But him, I kept saying, "Whoa, who was that? Was that Bellon?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "He's freaking." So I'm not even trying to be like. It's just the way he went at it and the way he would just go. He came back to like that's. I'm like, oh, okay, this kid knows how to play. He's not dumb when it comes to that position. He knows cómo cerrar, cómo cortar las llegadas por las bandas, and then come back to his position.
And important to mention that he is on the team because they had a friendly with Leones Negros. They had a preseason friendly with Leones Negros y le llenó el ojo a Paiva. Like Paiva liked the way he played. Paiva saw how he played and liked it. And they're like, well, we need we're not going to have Pedro Hernandez. He's going to be out maybe for the whole season. We need to bring in someone to fill in his place quick. They brought in this kid, and man, he made the best. He made the best 11 in his debut, coming on as a sub. I think that's pretty incredible, worthy of a mention, and says a lot about Paiva as
Paiva too,
about how he judges players and talent. I would say
that's pretty cool scouting. No, I mean you play a friendly, then Paiva's like, I want that kid.
This is like
brings his kid on.
Cosas getting Gaito Vasquez. Like it's like crazy. Like
it also says something about the meaning how meaningful these preseason friendlies against lower division squads can sometimes be. Like we scouted a player and got him on our team out of it, and he might turn into
talent down there.
He might turn into. It's sometimes these kids are in second division. Yeah, sometimes these guys are in second division not because they're not good, but they just haven't been. The right person hasn't seen them play. Like they need an opportunity.
Yeah. And all I said about Bellon in an interview that I saw was that he has un carácter that I like que tengan los centrales. He has un carácter fuerte. I could just tell, and that just shows leadership to me.
And we need someone on the team to have that leadership that we've been talking about for many podcasts.
Well, somebody was comparing. I saw several people comparing him to like the early years of Nacho Gonzalez in León.
Yeah, man, this kid's gonna be huge. You can tell right away. He has the right attitude. He's 25, so I mean, I think center backs as they age kind of just get better with time. Especially with the experience and playing under William Pesillo, who's unfortunately going to be out. He's going to get a lot of playing time.
Those are big
How long
shoes
is he
to fill.
Gonna be out? Is it official? He's gonna be out like a month, or
we
never know, right?
I heard half.
It didn't look good.
I mean,
half a tournament. Yeah. I thought it was like a month.
Well, I mean, think about this tournament. It's all the tournament is like compressed into like
that's true.
4 months. So I'd say like maybe he's probably out like 2 months. I would say.
I haven't seen a reporte médico. I agree with Carlos though. From a distance, it didn't look that. It did not look good. Yeah. He had to be carried off on the carrito de las desgracias.
You know, something I thought about was like everyone when Renato Paiva first got here, everyone was like, "Is he gonna play 3 central defenders? Right? 3 3 or whatever."
Sería línea de 5, but three central defenders.
Yeah, 3 central defenders.
3-5-2. 3-5-2. Yeah,
3-5-2. So. Are we maybe going to see glimpses of that now that we're kind of short-staffed on the defensive end?
I don't know. I
Are we
mean,
still starting Osby?
So we'll have like Oswi, Barre, and Byron, or no,
Beyond.
Bellon, and then Jairo
And then
and
have
Byron
so
running as carrileros.
I,
I would
That'll be
yeah,
nice.
I say
that would
just I say keep starting Bellon and have Yairo play for Osvi, and
Yeah.
then you don't have to
Oh,
worry about
that
Because here's
then
the
you don't have to
thing.
worry about
that
having
It's not
the
against
number
nothing
of Mexicanos on the
against
pitch.
Osby. It's just that we're not. I don't think we're using Jairo in his most one of his most dangerous spots. I don't think his contention. That's why I wouldn't. I would support that because if Bellon is going to be central junto con Barre, yeah, then have Byron and Jairo on los contenciones, and I just feel Jairo's more peligroso, and yes, Ambris really needs to and you know what's cool about it? Paiva likes Ambris a lot. Lo respaldó mucho después de todo,
because
like, so I think he's gonna be all right, and I think I don't know. Everything happens for a reason, man. The whole Bayonne thing is like, I know the CEO sucks, but this could be those moments in soccer history where it's like se lesiona y de repente entra, debuta, and it's like his legacy starts. And I'm not saying he's gonna take over at the CEOs. I'm saying he needs these experience, these moments, these minutes para madurar más rápido y que se acostumbre, se acople a la primera división. Even though I just feel he did a really good job
he
against San
did,
Luis.
cumplió. And I think
And
I
yeah,
mean we can say something about Diorio, which honestly, I mean
Yes.
obviously he missed
I
on the
wanted to
first
talk
one.
about the Yodia.
He
Yeah,
missed on
go
the
ahead.
he missed
My
on the
favorite guy
early
on the play.
second half, but al final, honestly, ha hecho más de lo que ha hecho Ormeño en todos los minutos que ha jugado.
Yeah, I mean,
he
this guy
didn't
looked really good.
he didn't get in his own head. He did enough. He stayed dangerous the entire game. Like if it were Ormeño, he'd have been subbed off long before he had the opportunity to put in the winner.
Yeah.
But this was the Yorio. Like no, you're on the right track. It's gonna come. You're staying out there, and man, he rewarded Paiva for that decision. Absolutely.
He did so much. Peinaba bien everything you could ever ask from un delantero así, sacrificaba for his, retenía el balón de una manera. I'm like, okay, so that's pretty impressive look, Cardoso is one of those players that I'm not going to compare to Cardoso. I'm just saying that para su tipo de cuerpo, la manera como he could just have control of the ball en el área, the way he did that recorte en el área, it's I know he missed, but that's how you're supposed to do it, and that kind of talent is amazing to have in that player, porque también sabemos que puede cabecear. We know that for a fact, and yeah, hace muchos funcionamientos. I thought he did a really good job, and the one that really I knew right off the bat, I was like, this is going to be interesting because I think Campbell, like you were saying, he did all right, but I just felt like I told you before the game, like I think I want to see Platano Alvarado right there. And when he came in, I remember saying, oh, he's going to go in for Campbell. He did a really good job. Ese pase que le dio was amazing because in esos tipos de asistencia, right, it's like it looks like you're gonna try to do another play, but look cómo se movió Di Llorio y él como del reojo saw that. His pase was really. I love his pase, su asistencia. I just like this new team, these new players that have just come in. It's interesting. Y con Dávila a veces también hay un funcionamiento interesting with Di Llorio. But yeah, Di Llorio really impressed me, and even the guys, like I said, the Huasteca Potosina guys were like, wow, who is this guy? This and that. Because same thing. Yeah, there was a lot of players that were impressed with Leon.
Yeah,
and that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
Nobody would have put him.
Admire.
Nobody would have put him high on the list of like the bombazo contrataciones of any team this offseason. So nobody knew who he was. Like nobody's paying attention to this random guy who comes from Everton de Chile to play for Leon. And he like and in the stadium people were starting to ask about him. Who is this guy? You know what? And in our social media, like Leon's social media, people are already starting to compare him to Boselli.
Yeah, and he's.
I mean,
he's
You said what, Carlos?
I said I saw some like Boselli like.
It reminded me. Look, cuando metió el gol, it reminded me cuando vino Boselli y metió gol contra Dorados en la Copa MX. It just reminded me of that. It just did. He even celebrated like that. He celebrated like
it's fine. It's fine to compare his playing style and like see to Boselli, see some similarities in their qualities. I just don't think I don't want to put that kind of pressure on him to have the same kind of production.
Exactly.
You know.
No, but lo que hemos dicho is that we've been needing a matador nueve, like an actual nueve, like Boselli. And if I'm seeing Di Llorio how he's been playing, I know it's one game we're getting excited and we wish hopefully it continues, but if it does, I mean, I'm pretty content because we finally have a actual Matador Nueve that we were wanting for so long after so many fracasos from other mediocre players
Yeah.
that are
Es
legit
que
number
he is
9.
like Boselli, because Boselli también, he did all of that, y a veces también baja, una jugada que hizo es con el Chapo Monte, which is him, and, like,
I remember
could
that
see
one.
him, yeah, I could see him doing
At
these
the
same
house.
kind of plays. I really can't. Ese recorte en el área, that says a lot of things to me. Aparte para hacer eso, en ese momento, hey, watch out, because, I think va a haber, Boselli tenía mucha genialidad para meter goles. It wasn't como cazagol. He was a genio en el área.
The way he moves and the way he handles the ball, just his movements, como se bota, it really reminds me of JJ Macias, because I remember Nacho Ambriz would tell Macias, botate, like come get the ball, be a pivot, right? Be a pivot, hold the ball, pass it, and then move. I feel like that's how Di Llorio is, and he's always in the right position at the right time. We don't ever score from headers, pero el pase que le puso, the first opportunity he had,
por la banda izquierda,
came really close.
Came really close.
Barre really should have put that rebound back in too.
No, that was Campbell. That was Campbell.
Sorry,
yes, no, it was Campbell.
Yeah, Campbell.
And that was just crazy. And also, there was in the stadium, everybody was saying, "Hey, Barovero casi nunca juega así de bien." I'm like, come on, get out of here, man. He's a great arquero. But they were even surprised. They kept saying, "Man, Barovero." I'm like, why now? Why against León? Cota also had.
Barovero is always a thorn in our
side. He's always been. I mean, he's had crazy games when he was in River. That atajó un cardíaco a Boca once, and it was like, yeah, I can see why he's been such a great arquero. Till he's not that young, but he's still really, really. He also ages like wine. Como el otro when he came in del otro lado, the guy that Carlos said, be careful. That's Sambuesa. Like when he came in, I was like, oh man, I was so scared.
Oh man, they were for about 20 minutes about 20 minutes after he came in. They were, but it was mostly because of Vitinho, not because of him. But they were on top of us for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was some scary moments.
Tres dedos, and I'm like, oh man, this is why he's scary. This is why he's scary. That was so close.
He always makes the right pass, and it seems like it's out of nowhere. He always knows the right thing to do. I mean, it's incredible what he can still do. But thankfully it wasn't enough. And man, my biggest takeaway is every single refuerzo had an impact on the game.
Yeah.
Every single refuerzo, some more than others, but every single refuerzo. Even Plátano only came in and played 10 minutes. He had the game-winning assist, and it was not an easy assist. It was a quality assist.
Yeah.
And the subs had an impact on the game. I mean, that play was started by Chapo. Chapo came in as a sub.
Yes. Chapo.
The subs and the refuerzos had a major impact on the game. Byron,
a lot about Paiva. A lot about Paiva.
We'll forgive Byron for the autogol.
Oh yeah,
because of the game he had defending Murillo, who is by far the best player on that San Luis squad. Now that Berterame is not there anymore. Murillo is the guy we said before. This is the guy we got to watch out for. This is the guy who killed us last time, and he's exactly the kind of player who always gives us problems. Byron was on him like white on rice, like
white on rice.
Yeah, so we'll forgive. So we'll forgive him. We'll forgive him for his autogol, and Di Llorio obviously making a major impact. He didn't even play in that friendly against America. This was his first taste of any sort of Liga MX, any sort of football Mexicano. So, I mean, the spotlight was not too big for him. Yeah, a few nerves that might have kept him from getting a hat trick or something like that, because he had a couple of good chances. But I mean, great performance from him. Plátano, like coming in and making a difference right away. And of course, Belon making the once ideal. So like great showing from these refuerzos who frankly were heavily questioned, and the front office was heavily criticized for like, really, these are the refuerzos, except for Byron. Obviously, he's thought of as the best right back in Conmebol.
That's a refuerzo, yeah.
He's the refuerzazo, but the others, like, they
were
severely questioned and severely criticized.
When Di Llorio came in, it's a typical Grupo Pachuca move, right? And a lot of them are typical. I wonder if they have like some sort of money ball situation where they're like they're calculating, trying to be like, what's the cheapest? But like
I compare.
I would do that.
The season, the Clausura. I remember regularly comparing us to the Moneyball A's during that Clausura 2019 season, because I mean, Meneses and even Tecillo and the guys we had on that roster, of course, they're seleccionados indiscutibles now, but at that time, like nobody really knew who they were.
Meneses
And they weren't making big money. Even Angel Mena, like he'd come off of not a great stint with Cruz Azul, like where he wasn't, I mean, he was decent, but he was nothing like what he's been for us. Like that whole team, our fan base is a short memory. Like these guys, when those guys joined the team, they were heavily questioned, just like these refuerzos have been now. So, like, maybe trust this directiva a little bit to know what they're looking for.
I would ask them, are you guys doing some Moneyball like situation? I mean, I wouldn't ask you like that. I'd be more professional. Are you guys doing
more professional? Let's go to a couple comments on the chat. Shout out to Todd. He said, "I like your Marines cap, Louis."
Come to T-Mobile on Friday, Todd. I'll be there. I'll be in Seattle at T-Mobile on Friday.
Yeah, you guys should link up for real.
We should. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a quick trip, but if you're around and you want to meet up, either there or on Saturday at Lumen, I'll be at the Cascadia Cup Timber Sounders on Saturday too. So,
and that's all we're going to talk about the Mariners today. Okay,
that's it. Anyways, next comment. Hello, fellow Green Bellies.
They beat my Padres
this weekend, and I was impressed by what I saw. We're far from perfect, but definitely noticed by us influence. Thumbs up.
Yes.
That's a good summing it up. Oh, and Roxnard, I love your green Ranger icon.
I just saw that. I was like looking at it.
The Tommy original Green Ranger. That's my favorite Power Ranger of all time, and always will.
Hey, what about he became the White Ranger?
Became the White Ranger, but
the red one was the best because he had the fluid.
Yeah, he called out
Dragon Dagger,
dude. He called out
Dragon.
That's the most
Dragon Dagger. The Dragon Dagger. He did become the White Ranger, Carlos, but he was way cooler as the Green Ranger. We all know
because he was Kimberly's boyfriend,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He was so cool. I used to be obsessed.
Anyway,
he's the best one, Tommy 8.
Shout out to you, Rob. Shout out to our friend Josue, who's always commenting, always tuning in. He said, "Hey guys, good to have you back on the new season. I want to share something that happened over the weekend. I was waiting to see the ESPN segment about Leon versus San Luis. They went to commercial break. They said they were going to analyze the game, and when they came back, instead of analyzing the game, they replayed the previous segment of El Bar de Rizo. I can't believe they prefer to replay a segment they have already done to transmit the match highlights. I don't know if they did this because they beat an ESPN type of shady."
Yeah, that's how ESPN is,
very
man.
shady with Leon. Yes,
well,
no doubt about that.
That's why I prefer Última Palabra.
That's how all the televisores are when it's not their team. Like,
do you remember cuando fue campeón Atlas and no les dejaban que los de Fox Sports lo entrevistaran?
Oh yeah, I did see that.
So there's definitely something going on, and yeah, I mean, I could just tell these guys. Look, these guys on ESPN are smart. The football picante, they're smart. I think just the way they speak about Leon is very ignorant, and I'm like, okay, look, I try to watch as much as I can every other team, right? Maybe for them it's kind of hard, but just based off the fight too, I felt there was something more like que ya digan que van a ser sotaneros del torneo. That's having that amnesia. Like, are you kidding me? Like, Leon still has those key players that llegaron a los 12 victorias consecutivas. Like, I just think that they could probably repeat that in a way. Like, this team looks very good. I'm not gonna say like they're gonna be better than that team, but I like I said, I like the players that came in, and I just feel like after what I saw, vamos a ver contra Puma, vamos a ver lo demás. Pero hasta ahorita, like lo de Bellón coming in, getting those kind of minutes. I think, yeah, when things happen in the moment, you're like, man, why is this happening? But in retrospect, we're going to see maybe this is why things happen for a reason. So, yeah, these people don't have.
Javi, you remember you and I were talking about The Last Dance when we were in San Luis Potosí, and let them say we're going to be sotaneros. You know, like, okay, fine. That's all I needed. It became personal to me.
It became personal.
You know? like when Karl Malone won MVP. Like, okay, fine, he can have that.
Mike,
I'm gonna go get this. You know,
I'm gonna get my what is this? What is this? Third ring? What was it? Third ring?
Yeah, whatever ring it was. Like, he took. It became personal to him, and he won a championship. Like,
or when Gary was it the glove? Or no, it was. We said it was Horace Grant when he said supposedly that he told Michael Jordan, "Good game." That never happened. Michael Jordan invented that just so he can get that adrenaline and be like, all right, this is how we're gonna do it. That's
really bad, Javi. Really
that's why sometimes these things happen. Like, let them talk, let them be, because puede ser contraproducente con el equipo y los jugadores equivocados. And I think Paiva's coming in. He knows he has something to prove. Leon has something to prove. La directiva has something to prove. Yes, let them talk.
Definitely.
Let them talk, because they're always going to underestimate us, and we can use that as fuel, just like Michael Jordan did.
Yes.
So going over Jornada Uno, other results. Puebla beating Mazatlan 4-2. I was kind of surprised with that scoreboard. Chivas versus Juarez 0-0 draw. Toluca. Did you guys catch the Toluca game? The Leon 2.0 versus Necaxa?
It wasn't on television for me. I think you had to get some app or something. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't.
I couldn't find it either.
Side.
I didn't watch it.
Well, in Mexico, some games are going to be through VIX. So I was able to watch it on VIX. Which it's weird. It's like VIX, but it's the channel is on VIX. It's weird. But anyways, well,
I'll be honest. I'll be going to YouTube and watching people narrarlo, escucharlo, like old school radio. I still always listen to the radio back in 2005 and 6 to watch games. Like that's crazy.
It can be exciting if you're driving and you're listening to the game. But yeah, Toluca ended up winning 3-1 over Necaxa. Cruz Azul beating Tigres 3-2. Snooze Fest America versus Atlas 0-0. Pumas and Xolos drawing 1-1. Obviously, our victory over San Luis 2-1. Santos beating Monterrey 4-2. That was a crazy game, and I went to it. And
were you in attendance?
Of course.
I don't know.
Of course. It was pretty bad. Because it was like 23 minutes, Santos was down 2-0, and I was like, oh no, this is going to look like a 4-0 at halftime. Santos ended up coming back. The weird thing that I did see around minute like 75 was the Porra de Monterrey. They were like leaving. And I was like, why are they leaving? Like the game's not even over. Like the whole barra left. And then I was like, and then I remembered I was like, well, apparently they weren't allowing barras to go into the stadium. So I don't know how they even got in. Yeah, but they got in.
They probably didn't. They didn't go in as a barra, probably. Mm-hmm. They went in all separately and then joined together as the game progressed.
Like in San Luis, Luis.
Like in San Luis, yeah. I ran into. I see obviously a lot of the same people when I go on these trips. Like, and we become like, you know, we're not best of friends, but like we're chummy.
The San Luis dudes that came up to me and they're like, "Well, somos de la barra," and you know we.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool, man." Yeah, we usually get in fights and this and that. I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. And I just kept like talking to them, and the other buddies were, oh man, I was gonna get. Oh, they thought they were gonna fight, and Louis thought the same thing, that I was gonna get in a fight. I don't know what I was like.
I was trying to shepherd him out of there before they kept talking too much longer. No, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. I wasn't worried about you. I was worried about them. I mean, it was a bunch of them and only one of you.
But I could handle it because I just straight up went up to them. And what happened at the end, bro? They liked me at the end. Like, oh, this guy, hay que tomarse una foto para que vean que aquí en San Luis.
Yeah, they ended up being perfectly friendly. But in the first moments, I was like,
I knew nothing was gonna happen, Louis. You and his friends were both. He was very drunk, and he came up to me, and he. You guys didn't hear what he said. Amo tu player. We had a very passionate conversation about colores. Ella es esmeralda, carnal. Es colores tradicionales. And he's like, yes, I'll never wear the blue. And so no one heard that conversation. So I knew I was fine. But yeah, his buddies were like, no, carnal, because they know he's a very violent person, especially when he's drunk and if his team lost. But I don't know. I used my friendly skills, and then all say, hey, una foto, una foto.
To your point, Cody, when we were leaving, we went to this. We went to this
San Luis has an interesting cuisine.
Son enchiladas potosinas, no?
We didn't get enchiladas potosinas. We went to this microbrewery / restaurant place in the centro called La Oruga y la Cebada, the worm and the barley. It was
best beer I've had since I've been in Mexico.
It was it was really good. I mean, we're from San Diego and Portland, so we know craft beer.
Yes, we know craft beer.
And the craft beer in Mexico doesn't always stack up.
I don't like the one in Leon. I tried it all.
This place was quite good. So we're not sponsored by La Oruga y la Cebada, but if anyone's ever in
I told Louis because this place was highly recommended to me. After we were all done, I said, look, whoever told you about this place loves you. This place is awesome. It's a gem. It's amazing. Great service, great food, really good food, and the beer is just delicious.
And it even helped win over Javi in terms of his opinion of San Luis Potosí.
Stop. We're not gonna get there.
Let's not get into that.
He was skeptical.
Hated.
He was
I came in there with
skeptical
a
about even going to
passion.
San Luis Potosí because of how they
I was
treated his
gonna
idol
go.
Maradona.
Yes, I
Yeah.
told him that. I see during the whole plan. I was like, I'm not going to San Luis. I'm going to Puebla. Go to Guadalajara. I told him I've never seen the way they treated Diego anywhere on the planet. I'm like, dude, do you know like around the world, people who love that guy, they know the people at San Luis. I'm like, man, fuck those.
Beep.
That's the second time. All right, no. See, this is what I want to get into because I got really mad.
Sorry, I
Okay,
riled you up a
let's
little bit, Javi.
digress.
I'm sorry. It was my
Digress.
fault. It was my
It changed
fault.
my opinion. It changed my opinion because the people are beautiful and it's look, you can't por unos inadaptados. That's exactly the conversation I had with the guy that was drunk and he was telling like we don't want this image. You know, it was right. Look, this image de lo de Querétaro, it affected all of us. They started saying that todos que nos gustan el fútbol, we support this, and this is the todos somos, and it's not true. It's a beautiful sport. So I understand what he was trying to say, and that's kind of at the end how I took it. Like, you know what? In the spirit of what you want the sport to keep becoming and growing, you can't have that opinion, right? You can't have that opinion. Por unos inadaptados, you can't judge a whole people and a whole barra o afición. So yeah.
But to your point, Kari, that like you were saying about Monterrey in Torreon, there were people from our some of our fans who said they were not allowed in. We saw them outside coming out after, and they said they were not allowed into the stadium. Thankfully, that didn't happen to us. But
that was weird.
There were a few
Yeah,
people who were like,
I did see some videos of after about some of the Monterrey people posting that they wouldn't let them in. They had to like change their shirts and everything to get in, and then change into their stuff after. And then something that I was like, you like solo en Mexico, like I guess La Porra de Santos was like chanting like, "Oh, you guys don't have water, but we do." I'm just like, why are you guys saying stuff like that? Like, come on.
They have a rivalry, so it's something that you're gonna have. En León le cantamos a los de Irapuato que son fresas y I'm not gonna say what else, but like it's
it is what it is. But all in all, I mean that game was just crazy with the goals back and back. When Santos drew 3-3 out, the stadium was crazy, and then Mas when they were up 4-3, and then they were like, then expulsaron a coach de Santos, and then they added 6 minutes, and then it felt like eternity, and then once they won, the stadium celebrated. They turned off all the lights. They were had the flashing phones, and people were singing the porra, and no.
Okay, I love you so much.
I know, me too. No, I just I just happen to be here, so there you go. Happen to go to home games, but
look, that's exactly what I was telling Louis when I went to go see Real Salt Lake. Okay, man, I just like seeing football, man. You're not right, Carter. We're not gonna change. Like, what the heck?
No, I mean, I like yesterday, like Santos versus Monterrey. I'm gonna go for Santos, but me and Louis were here, we were like the only ones that stood up when they own, in the middle of like 600 people. Like we were the only ones.
Sí fue gente de León a San Luis. But now that you think about las barras, I also heard the guy next to us, hey, ¿por qué no entran la porra? Está más gente afuera que adentro. And that was like at halftime. It's the same
thing. They're not allowing the barras to enter. And I think in San Luis, I remember when I went there a few months ago too, like our fans were being really careful to not enter in bunches. They were entering in different puertas and only a couple at a time because they didn't want to deal with those kind of problems. I think, honestly, I'm okay with them trying to keep this sort of thing under control this season. We don't want to see anything like that. What happened in Querétaro happen again ever. Yeah. So I'm okay with it, but I'm
too, like you're right. Like that's a good thing because I just feel like León, cuando van a Querétaro or Aguascalientes, like I feel like there's more of a hate, like I know they don't like us in San Luis from what I was hearing. Yeah. I think they're like that with every team, but I think just the closeness of the region, like I just feel like
that makes sense.
Yeah. Like if I don't know if you're gonna go to Querétaro, but like I just feel like I mean, I'm not gonna be here, but like those, that's what I mean. Like it just feels like they.
No, we play Querétaro at home this season.
At home, okay, but like next season, like if you go, like, are they still afectado?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't think by the time
whenever
we play there again,
have to sell the team, right?
Yeah,
or whatever they're gonna do with it. That's still up in the air.
My guess is the next time León plays in Querétaro, it still will be without fans.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
All right.
So looking ahead of Jornada 2, Friday, Mazatlán versus Tigres, Puebla versus Santos, and Xolos versus Juárez. That's Friday nights. Moving into Saturday, Chivas San Luis. Leon's game did get moved to Saturday night, which Louis unfortunately will be missing. So sorry, Louis.
Yeah,
Javier, are you
Tocaba
going?
una, Louis. Yeah, I'm going with my cousins and taking the whole
Let's
family.
go. Let's go. Yo, you can do
So the video.
Yeah,
the
do the pregame
video,
video.
bro. Let's go.
Can I also do the dance, Louis, if we win?
Nah, I never do it at home games. I did it at one. The only time I did it at a home game was when Angel Mena's last minute
Wouldn't
goal
make
to
any
send us
sense,
to the
huh?
final.
You can
When-
do the
You
home
can-
one, Javi.
Yeah, you can come up with your own thing, like the Javiercito Crip Walk.
I'll crip walk. Probably get shot, guys, because it's blue. I can't be
Oh
blue over there.
God.
No, look,
We'll be
I'm gonna
waiting
go with
to
my
see.
family. I'm just
Javi.
pretty much. I'll do I'll do the pregame video for sure, but I don't know about no dancing, man. Um,
Who
but
knows?
yeah, I'm
Maybe
gonna
you'll
definitely
have a
go.
couple beers then, and then you'll see if you're.
Yeah,
you're
so
dancing
but
or not.
when I'll just dance like Michael Jackson or something. So it's like
I'll buy you a beer if you do.
yeah, subtract it to the ones that I already owe you.
All right.
Because I owe Carlos like 10 beers. It's because I send very, very long audios and it's like 10 minutes and I say, all right, bro, look, I'm so sorry. I know it's very long, but if you make it all the way to the end, I owe you 3 beers. And all he
God.
ever writes, you owe me 3 beers. And it's already accumulated to 10. I'm like, oh man. So
We'll
yeah,
slowly
just subtract
discount them.
9 beers I owe you, Carlos.
Saturday also Cruz Azul Pachuca, Monterrey America, Sunday Toluca Atlas, and Querétaro Necaxa.
Toluca
So
Atlas, Monday?
Sunday is Toluca Atlas.
Hmm.
They're both Sunday games, so no Monday
Sunday
games
games.
next week. Then we'll have after that America plays midweek. But anyways, moving
doble
into
jornada. Right?
no,
¿Cuándo empieza la doble jornada? No,
think
pues
it's
Puebla
a
is, it's against Guadalajara. Yeah, doble jornada. Yeah.
So obviously we saw how Leon play, we saw the cambios make a difference, we saw the new signings make a difference. This game versus Pumas, what type of lineup are we thinking? Obviously we're counting Tecillo out.
Same back line. As,
With Bellon
Sunday.
starting
With Bellon?
I mean,
Yeah.
Jairo.
Bellon made the once ideal. I think you gotta give him another shot.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about the
Jairo?
rest? Midfield and up. Tecito
Fiorio,
starts,
Davila.
Fidel.
I don't know. I mean, as I was saying before, if Fidel is fit, I would expect him to start in his position.
I would want to see Platon
over
Alvarado
Jairo.
start. Is Mena going to be ready or not?
There's a
I
good
don't think
chance
we know.
he might be, but I don't know.
Would
I
he
don't think they're
start,
going to
though?
risk it. I don't think they'll
No,
risk it.
no.
He'll probably come
You
off
can't
the bench.
start off the bench. I'd rather see Campbell off the bench and see Platon Alvarado start. Like that's probably one of the things that I would change. With Jairo also being in la lateral.
Well,
I like
we won.
Diorio and Davila.
Well, we won with this last lineup. Like, why would you change?
No.
Yeah, I feel like
just historically, I like Campbell when he comes off the bench. Like I just feel he comes, con muchas ganas, and because I want to see a little bit more of Platon Alvarado. Just I think, but yeah,
get more
don't change it that much. Yeah, I agree. But I'm just saying, if Paiva
I feel like it's mostly going to be the
I
same.
think he's gonna change.
Repite.
I know.
think it's gonna be
I
about
feel
the same.
like it's going to be mostly the same. The only change I
Probably.
might foresee is Fidel instead of Jairo to have a true doble contención. Like that would be the only
Same.
one I could see.
And
I think
you
everything
start
else is going to be
Joel?
pretty much the same.
Joel starts?
You start Joel,
Yeah.
you bring in Mena off the bench, depending on how the game is going.
And you bench Fede for Jairo and start Jairo.
No, I think Fede starts. I think
You
Jairo.
bench Jairo.
I think Jairo gets benched. That would be the only change I could foresee.
Okay.
I will have Jairo de lateral, and I will start Alvarado. That's me.
I would too. Well, I don't know about Alvarado. I would start Jairo instead of Osvi, but I just don't think he's going to do that.
Same. I wish you could do that.
No, but we're saying what we think, right? Or what we want.
No, we're saying what we think they're going to do, not what we want.
What you think they're going to do.
What
But we
Paiva's gonna
always
do?
are like.
I mean, I still think it falls in the same category that he just shows trying to experiment or see players.
He still will. I mean,
that's why he had Jairo in
jornadas to do
contención
that.
because he wanted to see that. So yeah, I think he's gonna move not that much, but I don't know. I probably want to see more of other players too. But yeah,
I
who knows?
would start
Fede
Jairo
has to
over
start though.
Start Jairo over Osvi, put Fidel in, and then you have the same number of Mexicanos. You have the same number of Mexicanos on the pitch. You don't have to worry about it. Actually, one more because Belon is also going to start.
Yeah.
So and then and keep everything else the same.
What about Davila?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Davila's still
Diorio,
good.
Davila, y Fede. right? That's
Well,
how they started.
No, Davila's like the
no,
front.
it
You
was
keep the front the same.
Yeah, you keep that
Davila,
same.
Di Llorio, yeah, and
Diorio,
then it was
Davila, and Fede started. That
Fede,
definitely
Joel
keep the same.
Gambo, and Jairo.
Yeah, those definitely keep there. Don't move that, right? So the
Well,
Campbell
you
is
move
just
Yairo
because,
back. You move Yairo back to left back and
No,
send
yeah,
Dolphin
yeah.
to the
I'm
bench.
saying en la punta. Esos tres no los
Yeah.
muevas. That was good.
Me and you, Louis. That's what I want. I don't know. I don't know if they'll happen anytime soon.
Yeah, la punta no se
Okay.
mueve.
You ready for prediction time?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Prediction time.
Prediction time, Saturday nights. Javi, give us your prediction.
Because I quiero ver muchos goles, so I'm gonna be 3-1.
3-1. Goles de quién?
Ooh, it's a good question. Di Llorio, I think he's gonna come off because he's starting. He's gonna have a lot of opportunities. Him for sure, and I want to see Byron score. I know it's kind of hard for him to score. He's not really a scorer, but just if not Byron, Jairo, or one of those emblematic players that usually play como muy atrás. And also maybe just even Fede. Si Fede le va a seguir pegando I think this team's gonna be fouled a lot. They got fouled like almost like 17 times, I think, and I just felt a lot of those fouls were, of course, I just think that's the interesting thing to have in your arsenal. So Fede, Diorio, and Jairo.
Okay. 3-1. Javi says, Louis, your heart will be broken because you won't be in attendance, but give us your prediction.
His first one,
Yeah,
like in
thankfully,
2012.
no. People do recognize me more for the away games than the home games, but that does not change the fact that I have not missed a home game with fans in attendance. Obviously, the COVID games don't count. They
don't
were
count
played without fans. No tickets were sold. I do not count those. But in terms of games where fans were in attendance, I've been to 104 straight dating. I've been to 104 straight dating back to 2016, dating back to the semifinal against Tigres. The semifinal against Tigres in the Apertura 2016, we lost 1-0, gol de Gignac. And then we almost came back in the Vuelta in Monterrey, which I was at, but I was not at the home leg of that series. That was the last game I missed. That was a long time ago.
Was that the game where it was like shady?
Yeah,
Tigres?
before VAR.
All the games
before
were
VAR.
shady against them.
Very shady, though.
Before
that was
VAR. Anyway, so yeah, 104 straight I've attended. I will be missing this one. I already apologized in person to El Presi, Jesus Martinez, when I saw him at the opening of the new sucursal La Guarida del León at Plaza Mayor. We had a nice conversation. I told him I was going to have to miss that game. But yeah, so 104 straight, but it's okay. Even Cal Ripken Jr. had his streak snapped. So, so I will be able to watch the game. What do you say?
Well, my all-time favorite moments with you was when we traveled. I forgot where. Y Rodrigo Fernandez was like, "Bueno, ¿de qué trabajas?" You remember he telling you that all the time.
I think that was Querétaro. Yeah, when we saw the team outside the hotel in Querétaro. Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Anyway, I will be able to
everywhere.
The Cascadia Cup.
Timber
Sounders will be over. Timber Sounders will be over in time for me to see the León Pumas in its entirety watching on my computer. Thankfully. But yeah, I'm going to go with, I think León gets a 2-0 out of this one. 2-0.
Okay, 2-0, leaving Pumas scoreless.
Carlos, I think
Javi
so,
said 3-1. Louis said 2-0. What is your prediction?
Oh man, these guys took both of my predictions, so I'll have to be different. Let's go with 3-0 León. I feel like we're really strong this season offensively. Like this, the game at San Luis could have easily ended 5-1, 5-2 León, but we missed so many sitters. Like, I don't know what we were doing. So I think offensively, like we're on another level this season. Barovero. Pumas doesn't have Talavera anymore. You know, he was.
No, they have Julio Rodriguez, who has been, frankly, a cliente of León at times before Talavera was there.
Yeah, and historically, Talavera was very good against us. He was actually the reason we didn't score any more goals on them in previous matches that we played against them. So yeah, I'm gonna go 3-0.
Yeah.
Goles by Di. I'll give one to Campbell, and I think Chapito will get one off the bench.
Wait, Louis, you didn't say who was gonna score.
Yeah, sorry, Lou. Who's gonna
Oh,
score?
I didn't
Osby
say
and
who's gonna
Campbell.
score. No,
No,
let's
on,
go
man.
with the Yorio and then Mena coming off the bench and getting one late.
Okay.
Yes, and sorry, not Julio Rodriguez. It's Julio Gonzalez who is the goalkeeper for Pumas now. Julio Rodriguez is the future Rookie of the Year in the American League for the Seattle Mariners. Sorry, yeah, I do not want to get those guys mixed up. Yes.
Yeah, Alfaro, man. I'm not playing.
I'm gonna be different than let me just be different. I'm gonna say 4-1. Obviously, that would be awesome. Home game. I'm gonna give a brace to Di. I'm gonna give one to Davila, and then I'm gonna give
that's a
one
good one.
to. Let's give another one to Fede.
What did I forgot what I said? I said Diorio.
You said Di, Jairo, and who else did you say?
Alvarado.
No,
that's the one I'm switching now.
No, I can't remember who you
Alvarado.
said, but you can switch. Yeah, you can.
Alvarado. I like that kid.
I'm gonna be like, have only one switch.
That's it. No more. No more bad words. No more switching. No more predictions. No more. That's it. No more.
Okay. Well, we all predicted a win for Leon. Obviously, we're very pumped.
What does Homer Simpson predict?
Imagine how to sign. Chalkboard.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. But no, obviously, we're all really content with Jornada Uno's results. We're hoping this home game will continue to happen good things for La Fiera. So we'll definitely be back next week to talk about everything that happened in that game. Hopefully, it'll be a happy podcast as well. Guys, anything before we take off?
Nope.
No.
There's been rumors of
what about
Leon
Central?
and
Are they bringing a Central?
picking up some guy from Betis. I can't remember his name. There's also been rumors of Carlos Salcedo, which I think is not. It's not going to happen. And
Thank
was
God.
That was just that he was on the radar for
there was also very minor whispers, not rumors.
Don't say Daniel.
Because I didn't the Chofis. But
nah,
I don't know if
Chofi
it'll
just
happen.
came back to Chivas.
Oh, is it official?
Well, draft. Shout
They
out
need
to
to bring a Central.
draft Liga MX, so it was pretty on point. I mean, they confirmed that Chofis came back. I mean, not club official, but.
Because salió what's his name, Peláez. He was interviewed and he said, "Yeah, Chofis isn't going to be playing with us this season." Didn't he? I thought I saw a video out there of him saying that.
I guess we'll see if it's true or not.
If I were him, I wouldn't want Chofis on my team either. So yeah.
But apparently, Henry Martin was a possibility for Chivas. They're out, but I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't think we need anybody else. I don't know. I know they keep looking for someone else, but I think we're okay.
Central, I think just in case.
Yeah.
Uno nomás. Just in case. Because what if Bellón gets injured? You know, or
knock on wood, Javi.
No, it's not. It's not like trying to wish bad on my team, but like this is what happens when you don't prepare or you don't have los refuerzos adecuados. It's just, you know, and also it's weird, man. Like I just felt siempre en pretemporada a veces that's a lot que se lesione. But I didn't see the play. I can go back. I no sé cómo fue la lesión o cómo fue la jugada. So at the same time, I don't know how much it could be por la pretemporada y preparador físico. But yeah, I just think it's important to always have all your bases covered. Have plan A, B, and C.
We'll see if anybody new is on the radar as rumors come out or not. But anyways, thank you guys for joining us on the chat. Thank you to Todd. Maybe you'll get to link up with Louis. Shout out to Roxnard and Callie. Shout out to
the Green Ranger.
The Green Ranger. I'll just call you that. Let's just call him the Green Ranger.
Yeah.
Good hobby. For joining in the chat and giving us your comments and thoughts. Shout out to everybody on Twitter and YouTube. Definitely keep a tabs on us, and we'll definitely have more content, and we'll be back next week on another episode of the Lions and Podcast.